everyone, and thank you for tuning in. Today, we're going to be looking at Bitcoin and its valuations against the US dollar. Remember, if you do like this video and the other videos that I make on this channel, be sure to hit the like button down below and also consider subscribing. So, with Bitcoin right now, Bitcoin's trading at about $41,000, um, and we're up a little less than a percent for today. The interesting note, I guess, for this week is, well, today is Friday. We have 2 days left in the week, 2 days and a half left in the week. Uh, are we going to be able to close above the 21 EMA? Now, the 21 EMA right now is at 45,923. And we would have to rally about, a little over 10% from here by the end of the week, about 13%, in order to get back above the 21-week EMA. Now, although that is definitely possible, if I flip it to the daily, you'd see that yesterday we rallied 10.5%. So it's definitely possible over the next 2.5 days for Bitcoin to rally back up. However, uh, every hour that passes by, Bitcoin closing below these two weekly averages become more and more of a reality, and is something that we would have to, you could say, accept in that sense. That Bitcoin is rolling over, Bitcoin is closing below these moving averages, and we must prepare for the scenario that Bitcoin is going to stay below it for a little while longer. How long that will be, we don't know. If we look at other instances of when Bitcoin briefly goes below the 20 and the 21-week EMA, um, during a cycle is in 2013, when Bitcoin essentially, it took about 7 weeks in order for it to get back above the 20-week EMA moving average, and about a week, after the 21-week EMA, we dropped below it, but we rallied back up and stayed above it. So that's something to take into consideration. That it can span, no shorter than a week, but it also can span a little over or a little less than 2 months, right? 7 weeks is about 2 months, little less than 2 months. So that is what we're dealing with now. For me, it's been the same. I've liquidated a majority of, not a majority, but a good chunk of my altcoin positions over the past month and a half. I've converted them back into Bitcoin. I'm contending that during this move of Bitcoin being below these moving averages, that altcoins are not going to perform well. And also, when Bitcoin decides to get back above it, I'm contending that at that point, Bitcoin is going to rally and outpace altcoins once again. That is my contention going forward, and that is why I'm Bitcoin heavy now, or more Bitcoin heavy than I was prior. And I think that will be kind of our situation going forward. Now, even when Bitcoin is below these moving averages, it might bleed, but it won't bleed as hard as altcoins. So my risk of it, my exposure to downside risk is diminished by holding more Bitcoin. And I think that's simply just a smart thing to do. That isn't to say that altcoins right now are at a pretty decent price. I mean, with Chainlink under $30, it's at the 20-week moving average. I mean, even in the Bitcoin ratio, it's back down to 70,000 satoshis. There isn't denying that there are some attractive prices with altcoins, but I would contend that I'm just going to stay patient. I'll sit on my Bitcoin position for a little while longer to see where our head's at, if we're able to get back above the 20-week moving average, so on and so forth. But this seems to be the reality, and you can kind of see it with the dominance as well. The dominance is rising. We wicked to like 45% dominance the last 2 days. However, the trend is shifting. I think we're bouncing and we're moving back up. The dominance is moving back up. With that said, we don't really know where or how far it will go. The first target would be this line here, to respect the resistance line that was made on the week of the first week of April. That would be the first target. The next target would be the top of the band here, where we held relatively more or less support during 2018, 2019. Having said that, we did cut straight through it. Both lines, we cut straight through it on the way down. So it doesn't have to respect those lines. It also doesn't have to go up to that line. I would contend it should. I mean, 50% dominance from a low of 39 seems pretty reasonable to reset the balance between the strength of Bitcoin and altcoins. The first quarter and a half, I mean, from January, altcoins have been outpacing Bitcoin immensely. There is no question about it. There alt season came. Alt season is probably gonna go. We dropped 30 percentage points in the span of like months, right? In a span of months. You can't say that we did not have an alt season. We haven't seen an alt season like this ever since 2017, back in December, right? December, we went up as high as 67.30, and we dropped 30.46 percentage points all the way to down to 36% dominance. So you can't necessarily say that, alt season didn't come. It's more the more likely scenario is the altcoin that you picked did not do well. But that's it for today. I am Bitcoin heavy. I'm long Bitcoin, and I'm more bullish on Bitcoin than altcoins for the foreseeable future. As long as Bitcoin is closing below these moving averages, that's my contention. If on the off chance that we are able to rally back above the moving averages and close above it by Sunday, then we could probably start arguing about something else. But at the same time, you would still have a Bitcoin that is rallying and most likely will outpace altcoins in the short to medium future, until the point where Bitcoin has some reasonable distance between the price and the moving averages, which is where altcoins tend to really, really rally. An example would have been right here just recently when Bitcoin was moving sideways, essentially, altcoins popped off. Altcoins have been popping off, but at this moment during February to April, we saw these amazing price movements. I mean, of Ethereum, this all started in March. This rally, Chainlink, we saw a rally from 47,000 sats to as high as 100,000 sats. We saw a lot of altcoins move in that time, and so I would say that I won't be bullish on altcoins again until Bitcoin's able to do that. If it's able to put some reasonable distance between itself and the moving average and start moving sideways, we can then start talking about another altcoin cycle. However, altcoin cycles do not happen one after the other. There is always a bounce back, a resurgence of Bitcoin. Even this move here resulted in a bounce back of Bitcoin, following that an altcoin cycle. So no matter how you look at it, whether you think that we get above the 20-week moving average today, in 3 days, or in 7 weeks, the anticipation is that Bitcoin dominance is going to rise to some degree during this period of uncertainty. And until we get back some certainty, altcoins are probably going to bleed further. But that's all for today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye bye.